Welcome, folks, to the next edition of the Innovation Moment. Now, few will argue that innovation is the cornerstone of most successful organizations. But can innovation be used to create sustained economic growth and prosperity? What if we embrace prevailing forces of change as an opportunity to reimagine our local communities and urban ecosystems? What if we design new solutions that address the urgent needs of cities and drive pivotal change at speed and scale? Join me to unpack these questions and help answer the most fundamental question: can innovation be used for social good? Joining me today to help answer this are Luke Tanen and Cassidy Beadle. Luke is president and CEO at Chicago Innovation. Chicago Innovation is a nonprofit organization educating, connecting, and celebrating innovators across the Chicago region. And Cassidy is a client innovation designer and lead with over 14 years of management and business consulting experience. Cassidy drives innovation and thought leadership with a focus in the retail industry. So welcome, Cassidy and Luke. And I probably didn't do justice to that introduction. So Luke, would be great to have you introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, thank you, Shivani. And I thought it was a pretty good introduction, but I will build on it. So I'm the president and CEO of Chicago Innovation, which now is entering its 21st year. And the whole reason it started was as something called the Chicago Innovation Awards to really take the spotlight off of other cities and put it on Chicago and celebrate all the great new products and services and companies that rise here. And also, when the organization started, we wanted to make sure people knew that innovation was not just tech and was not just startups. So we have a saying, which is innovation is for everyone. And we celebrate and promote and work with innovators across all industries, big companies, startups, for-profits, nonprofits, high tech, low tech, and no tech. And we do that through a series of events and a series of programs.
Luke, so inspiring. Cassidy, how about a quick introduction from you?
Yeah, thanks, Shivani. I'm Cassidy Beadle. I've been at Accenture, as Shivani said, for almost 15 years. I grew up in our retail industry and was fortunate enough almost 6 years ago to switch into our innovation practice. So I sit out of our Chicago Innovation Hub team. And I've been privileged for the past little over a year to be leading our Accenture effort on innovation and action, which we'll dive into more today. So excited to talk about it and look forward to our discussion.
Great. Well, this is the innovation moment, folks. So we've got to start with the question, Luke, what does innovation mean to you?
You know, the way that I define innovation, I'll use the judging criteria for the Chicago Innovation Awards, which every year we get between 400 and 500 nominees, and we evaluate their products and services and then pick 20 winners to determine the most innovative. So we've had the same criteria for 20 years now. What we look at is there an unmet need? Is there new value being created? Is it unique in the marketplace? And specifically, is it a difference that makes a difference, right? Does that difference tie back to what people do value? And then lastly, does it have measurable impact in the marketplace? And that could be measured in revenues or customers or some kind of quantifiable measurement. And so you look at that, you know, problem, solution, new value, uniqueness, and impact. You see, again, it's not about tech. It's about really problem solving, and therefore anybody can really innovate. It could be a product, a service, a process, a business model. It really cuts across many different forms.
Love that. Cassidy, what about you? How do you define innovation?
Yeah, that one's going to be hard to top there, Luke. You're very eloquent. You know, we always talk about it as just a new way of doing something that adds value. And what's great about that to me is that we can meet our clients and our organizations that we're working with wherever they're at. And so that can look different for organizations that are earlier in their maturity curve within innovation, but it also could be large scale transformation where we're changing their business services or line. Or going into new growth and strategic areas. Excited to dig into it further, but I also love Luke's build there about adding the social good element and what that looks like. And sometimes we talk about that as our responsibility as an add-on to our desirability, feasibility, viability.
Love that. So, Luke, as the president of Chicago Innovation, you have seen hundreds of innovation, thousands maybe in your career. Now, do you think innovation can be used for social good? And if yes, maybe you can give us some examples.
Yes, 100%. And in fact, through the Chicago Innovation Awards, we have specific award categories that are just focused on celebrating social good innovations, like the Social Innovation Award or the Chicago Neighborhood Award, or we had the COVID-19 Response Award. I mean, really, again, it's about solving problems, identifying needs, and a lot of those occur in the social impact sector, in the nonprofit sector, and in all different walks of life. It is hard to just pick a few to highlight, because indeed we have had 360 winners of the Chicago Innovation Awards. Many of them are social impact or nonprofits. But just to highlight two that stick out in my mind right now, one is an organization called Fresh Moves. And now what Fresh Moves did, they won the Chicago Innovation Award maybe 7-8 years ago. They had learned that CTA buses, when they turn 15 years old or they get to 500,000 miles, they need to be retired and taken, to the scrapyard and turned into, big hunk of junk of metal. But they thought, some of these buses still run. So what they did was they took out all the seats, they filled them up with shelves, filled those shelves with fresh produce, fruit and vegetables, and drove them around Chicago's food deserts. So what a great example of taking what would have been thrown out and thinking differently and innovatively and using it for social good. And then the second example I'll give, it's similar in spirit. It was an organization called Boombox. And what they did is they took used shipping containers that, they're all over the city. Usually you don't even notice them. It's just a big rectangle of metal. They cleaned them, they climate controlled them, and they turned them into pop-up shops for retailers in Chicago's diverse neighborhoods as a way to test new products at little, very affordable mini stores. And what I love about those two examples is they both show that, innovation, it doesn't have to be something totally brand new, right? They didn't build the bus, they didn't build the shipping container. They took something that already existed, but gave it a whole new purpose and application.
Love those examples. Cassidy, now you're working for a large organization, right? Like Accenture. Do you see such opportunities like what Luke was talking about seem more like kind of startups or smaller companies that actually can do this? But do you think large corporations see opportunities to use innovation for social good? And if yes, maybe some examples on what Accenture is doing to drive this change or other companies are doing to drive this change.
Yes, definitely think and see opportunities for large companies to be doing that, and hope that others as big as Accenture can also take on some of the things that we've done to help our people and our clients look at that. So one of the biggest programs we have within Accenture that focuses on this is called our Social Innovators team, an initiative, and they kind of look at it at 3 key ways that we get our people engaged and involved across social good work. The first one is our accelerator program. And so that program, we provide coaching, mentorship, and resources to our teams so they can take the ideas that they've come up with from the concept side of that into reality. And then we partner with clients and other partners and organizations to help deliver those outcomes into the communities. I know that's been very successful over the last 2 years. The other big thing that we've done, which is a little more internal to our organization, we call it Base Camp, but that's a 4-week training course that we co-designed with an external experience partner. And that's open to our whole 600,000 plus organization. And that helps build skills and mindsets that's outlined in our Social Innovators Guidebook so that everyone can kind of come in and get trained up on where they can bring social innovation into current existing projects or into net new projects. And then the one that I'm probably most excited about right now is our Sustainability Innovation Challenge. So this is our 2nd year of that program. It's open to anyone in Accenture to come together with teammates and tackle some of our greatest environmental challenges to try to help Accenture deliver on our 2025 net zero strategy. So what's awesome about this year is the 2nd annual competition of our Sustainability Innovation Challenge. And we're really excited to see what comes out of some of the categories that we're looking at. Future of sustainable consumers, future of climate resilient communities, future of energy, future of food, and a few other ones. So it's a great way that we can really create scalable climate, nature, and people positive solutions within our ecosystem that helps work with our clients and other ecosystem partners. And through this whole program, over the past year, we've seen a really big impact. 10,000 people within Accenture have participated across those programs. We've worked with a little over 100 clients and ecosystem partners, and have broad community engagement in the tens of thousands of people across the globe as part of that program.
Wow, so inspiring, right? So it doesn't matter whether it is a small startup, it's a not-for-profit company, or if it is a large organization, large enterprise, you can actually use innovation for social good. Loved all of those examples.